Good morning, grade twos. It's Monday morning. Welcome to our first math lesson video. I hope you got your practice and your workbook done, review 2 last week and finished up on Friday. And today we're going to start our new unit in math on money. So in your package for this week, you should have had a Ziploc bag with some money in it. So if you don't have that in front of you, press pause, go get that package of money, that little bag of money, and bring it with you, and then you can continue to watch. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you get all of the coin out of the bag that was in your bag. So I want you to get just all of the coin out, and we're going to talk about what coins that we have. Okay, so lay them all out. Okay. Now, we have been talking about this before. Do you remember what our biggest coin is called? And I'm going to put it right up so you can see the picture and you can find that one. What is the biggest coin that we've got in our little baggie called there with the caribou on it? Do you remember? It's called a quarter, and it's worth how much money? 25 cents. Yes. And then what's the one with our beaver on it? It's called a nickel. And how much money is it worth? 5 cents. And then our smallest one has the sailboat on it, the blue note, and it is worth 10 cents, and it's called the dime. Okay? So when we're adding, we're going to start with the coins that are worth the most money. So we're going to start with our quarters. How many quarters do you have? You should have 2 quarters, okay? So our quarters are worth 25 and 25. Do you know what 2 quarters together are? 25 and 25? They're 50 cents, yes. So we have 50 cents here. Then it is easy to add our dime, which is worth 10. So what's 50? And if we have another 10, it would be 60. And now let's add our nickel, which is worth 5 cents. So it would be 65. Now, if I were to write 65 on the board, I would write 65, and it's not dollars, it's cents. And cents is with a C and a line through it. So that is 65 cents. So when you're counting money, it's easier to start with the biggest amounts of the coin and then keep adding on to the 10, and then lastly adding on the 5s, okay? But if you remember, quarters are 25, right? And 4 of them make $1. So 25, 50, 75 cents, and then we've got $1. So you can remember quarters that way. It'll help you to count your money quicker, okay? And then 10 cents you can count by tens, and the nickel you can count by 5s, okay? So we have 65 cents. The next thing we're going to count is I also included some bills in your baggie. So can you get out your bills from your baggie? Okay. And the green bill is a $20 bill. The purple one is a $10 bill. And the I just gave it away. The blue one is a $5 bill. So again, when we count bills, we're going to start with the highest denomination, the biggest amount first. So we're going to start with our 20. And then if we add 10 more, can count up 10 from 20? 30. And then add in our 5, 35. Now this one isn't cents. This is because this is dollars. So we're going to write 35. And do you remember from we've been talking about, we put the dollar sign in front. So we do the S with the 2 lines down it. So we have 65 cents in our coin, and we have $35. Now, what if I asked you to put that all together? How would we write that? Do you know how to write that? Well, we start with our dollar sign, and we start with our dollars first. So 35, and then we put a dot or a decimal to separate the dollars and the cents. So we do it, a dot or a decimal there. And then we write our cents. We have 65. So when I put my money together, I have $35 And that's how you would say it. You say $35 and, where you have the decimal or the dot, you say and 65 cents. Okay? Now, the next amount isn't going to be one that you're going to have, but I'm going to show you what it would be. So I'm going to pull out some other coins that we haven't used yet, but we have talked about them. Do you remember what the one with the polar bear is called? A toonie, and that kind of gives away how much money it's worth. It's worth $2. And then the one with the loon on it, do you remember what we called it? The loonie, yes, and it is worth $1. So if I have a toonie and a loonie, how much money do I have? I have 2 plus 1 is $3, and I have the coin with the beaver, the nickel, which is 5 cents. So I have $3.05. Now, how can I write that on the board? Well, I'm going to start with my dollar. I'm going to actually erase this and write this above here. I'm going to start with my dollar sign. And how many dollars do I have again? 3. And I'm going to do my decimal. Now, I just have 5. So the first number that comes after the dot or the decimal is the tens again. So I don't have any. I just have 5. So I'm going to put a 0 there, and then I will write my 5. If I put my 5 here and put my 0, that would make it 50 cents, but I only have 5. So think of it as I would need to write a 0 because I don't have any tens, and I just have 5 cents. So again, we would say it, $3, the decimal means and 5 cents. Awesome, okay? Now I'm going to have where I'm going to bring in a $20 bill, and I'm going to have a loonie and a toonie. Who can tell me how much money I would have? 20, 22, 23. How do I write if I have $23? I don't have any cents, okay? So if I have just dollars, I don't have any cents. I'm going to write the dollar sign. I'm going to write 23. I'll write my dot or my decimal. And I'm actually going to put 2 zeros because I don't have any cents. So this is how I would write $23. I don't have any cents. And you notice when I'm writing dollars using the dollar sign, I don't put the cent sign. This dot or decimal is then separating the dollars and cents. Okay, so when I have just dollars, I put 00 for my cents. Okay, now this time I'm going to have a quarter and I'm going to have a dime. Who can tell me how much money that I would have? You have that in your baggie if you want to get a quarter out and a dime out, and tell me how much money do I have? The quarter's 25, and if I add 10 more, can you count up by 10 from 25? 35, right, I just add one more in the tens. So instead of 2 tens, I'm going to have 3 tens, so 35 cents. Now, what if I want to write it, though, using the dollar sign? Did you know you can do that? So I'm going to erase these. I'm going to, instead of just writing 35 cents with the cent sign, I'm going to do the dollar sign. And what do you think I'm going to put first? 0, because I don't have any dollars. Decimal, or a dot. And then I'll put my 35, because I have 35 cents. Okay? Now for today, we're going to skip a little bit in our workbook because our workbook comes from the United States. The money looks different than ours. So in your package, I've included a worksheet. It has 2 sides and it's in color. So you can see the colors of the coins and the bills. And I want you to see how much money is in each box, and then I want you to write it, okay? And you're gonna write it using the dollar sign. So that's why I showed you. If you only have cents, this is how you're going to write it, because we're going to write it using the dollar sign, okay? We're going to write it using the dollar sign. So you're going to do both sides of those pages as your work today, and then put it back in your package, in your Ziploc bag, so that you can bring it back when we're together again. So have a great Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow.